Hello and welcome back to the studio for another exciting interview. As you know, we had the gala dinner yesterday, and part of the gala dinner was also the awards ceremony for the Peter Drucker Challenge. The Peter Drucker Challenge is the annual essay contest of the Peter Drucker Forum, where graduates and students and young professionals from all over the world are invited to share their insights. And the idea is to keep the philosophy of Peter Drucker alive. And the topic was very interesting this year, was the next education. And I have two of the laureates sitting next to me who will share a little bit more about their writing process, about their topics, about their impressions from the forum. And I'm super, super happy to have here next to me Shahadash Ahmed. He's from many different places, as he told me, quote, currently residing in Singapore, I believe, and Ikoja Okewu from Nigeria.
Yes, ma'am.
So welcome to the studio and welcome to Vienna.
Morgan.
Guten Morgen, yes. How
Morgen.
are you doing?
I'm doing fine, ma.
How about you?
I'm doing great. It wasn't as cold today morning.
Yeah, we already had a chat about the cold amongst other things. This is one of the things in Vienna that's not so great. Well, I'm really interested to hear what was your inspiration to participate in the contest, and yeah, how does it maybe also relate to your personal background? Because if you enter such a contest, it also means that you're very excited about the topic and very passionate. So maybe, Shahadash, can you start with what was your inspiration?
I think for me, there were many great influences. The first influence is that my family, we sort of come from, there are many educators in my family. My grandfather, my dad, and all of his siblings, they turned out to become teachers. I think education is something that sort of runs in our blood. But the other influence is that, the way I see the world is I only see misinformation proliferating. And that's because of a lack of critical thinking. And I think consequently, people need to be exposed more to the world through all of these different ways of thinking. And I think the only perfect solution was a liberal arts education. Something which I'm a graduate of. And so, the moment I saw it, I'm like, I need to recommend liberal arts education in my essay. Yeah.
It's lovely to hear. How about you?
Okay, like I said, I'm Ikoja from Nigeria. Actually, what really motivated me when I saw the topic, the next education. Presently, I'm teaching mathematics to disadvantaged children in Nigeria. And when I observed and then made my personal research, I discovered that there are many out-of-school children in Nigeria because education hasn't been democratized. So because of that, when I saw the topic, I said, no, I needed to contribute to this. So the focus of my essay was about how education will be democratized. It will be made available for everybody to create an equitable world. US and Europe, they are moving ahead. Artificial intelligence and technology. But we in Africa, because the education hasn't been democratized, we are lagging behind, and it's not good. We need to catch up so that there will be a uniform progress globally. Thank you.
So the title of your essay was?
Democratizing the next education to create an equitable world. That was
wonderful.
the title of my essay. Yes, ma'am.
Lovely.
Thank you.
And Shahadash, what was the title of your essay? What did you write about? I believe it's related to liberal arts.
It's related to liberal arts, but it's called Learning to Fight Fake News. Because fake news is, it's something which, it comes out of ignorance. And I think, ironically, it's like you learn how to fight fake news, but you're also learning in itself. I thought I was going for a wordplay there, but yeah, that's the topic.
I'm also really interested in learning a little bit more about your writing process, because I can imagine it's quite a challenge to write an essay for such a global institution and to summarize everything. So what were your main challenges? Did you maybe also have a moment where you're like, I can't do this? Can you give us a little bit more insight on that? Maybe let's start with you, Shaharaj.
I think for me, when I first started, similar to Ikoja, I was coming from a place of personal experience. I was looking at a bunch of failures in the world. So it's primarily from that, what is this crazy world? which I'm looking at. And the crazy world which I'm looking at is misinformation being spread across the world. You know, you have the Trump elections, you have the Marcos and Duterte elections in the Philippines. When I talk to my mother, she tells me a lot of fake news. She tells me this candidate is bad, this candidate is, horrible. But I fact check it later. It's all fake, right? You have fantastic candidates, women candidates who've worked in policy their entire lives, and they get shut down instead for the son of a former dictator because of fake news being spread by businesses. So that first step was really the personal experience before connecting it to the macro. Have we seen this failure elsewhere in the world? What is common in all of these cases is the education systems. And I think, starting from the problem, I slowly moved to the solution. And yeah, that was more of my process. I think I almost freaked out towards the end. But in the end, it all came through, thankfully.
It all came together in the end.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing from you, you related from your personal experience, and then put it into perspective with the macro environment that was happening. It's it must be quite an emotional process also to write about something that you care so much.
I was fighting with my mother every other day. Yeah.
Ikoja, how was it for you?
Mine, it was quite easy.
Okay.
Because I started writing since 2009.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't I didn't have a coach, but I was interested in pouring out my heart to influence people globally. So my writing process was quite simple. As an educator, I just needed to tap in from the experience I've had during my service year in the northern part of Nigeria, Katsina State to be precise. In that region, many girls are out of school, which is not good. The boys can't be progressing while the girls lag behind. It's not good. So out of compassion and emotion, I poured in everything into the essay. So the essay, my writing process, I was focusing on how do we make education available. It's true, not everybody will be able to go into the classroom, but with the advancement in technology, how are we going to leverage technology to educate some of these girls, even though maybe they are restricted from going to school for religious reasons, but I think there should be a way we leverage on technology to educate the girls. And not only that, if you look carefully at Africa, you will discover that many of the crises we are having in Africa is as a result of lack of education. Because an educated person, if he's confronted with a problem, he will critically think, how should I do this? How should I do? Oh, I shouldn't go this way. I should go this way. And then you discover the society will be peaceful. But over there in Africa, because of this lack of education, you discover there are problems of farmer headmen crisis because some people are not educated, others are educated. And then the girls, they are not giving them priority. So I just poured in my heart to see how we'll change the status quo in Africa to make education available for everybody. Because once that is done, we'll move together with the rest of the world. Yes, that was just my writing process and everything about my essay.
So it really also confirmed your work as an educator. I look at a lot of different issues systemically, so I'm a person who always asks why. I like to go to the bottom of things, and I feel like every time you do that, no matter the issue, education is one of the root causes for almost anything that we address. So it's wonderful that we have the forum topic, but also that you wrote the essays on that. I actually believe that there is also quite a lot of essays available on the website of the Peter Drucker Challenge. So to anyone who's interested to dive deeper into that topic, please check them out. One of the benefits of being a participant and a laureate of the Peter Drucker Challenge is to be able to come to the forum and to experience it. I'm interested, how has your experience been? And also, what are you taking from the forum? What are you bringing home with you? What's next?
Okay, for me,
yes.
When I came, I was thinking about the workshop I will attend. Shahaj, I and him, were together. So while I was just brainstorming, I said, let me go and learn about the Indian way. And honestly, when I went for that workshop, even though it was very cold, I was just shivering. But while the speakers were delivering their lectures and were interacting, I noticed that there was a word one of the speakers mentioned. He said, you need to have a real purpose. Real purpose. Not just having a purpose. You have to have a real purpose. So from my standpoint, how I understood it is that I don't just have to have, I have to be frank. Many private schools and schools across Africa are out there just to make money without really impacting the little children and then the youth. So I discovered that the reason why they are doing that is because they don't have a real purpose. But from what I've gotten from this conference, I have to go back and then tell the proprietors and then the business people that are willing to invest into education that it's not all about the money. Money will come, quite all right. But we need to focus on the real purpose, which is improving the lives of people, building them up, giving them skills that they will be able to survive in this fast-moving world. That's what I took from the forum.
Sounds like you have a very clear mission and a very clear, real purpose for yourself when you go back. That's
Yes,
really
ma'am.
wonderful that you're taking something so concrete from the forum.
Thank you, ma'am.
Happy to hear that. How about you, Shaharaj?
I think as a person who's been to similar conferences before, someone who's been to a purely business conference, to a purely academic conference, what's nice about the Peter Drucker Forum is that it's the best of both worlds in the sense that you have business leaders who are at the forefront of their sectors, who are sharing about their practice, while you also have the professors who are, they're really dissecting what's going on in the macro. They're giving you the signal from the noise, right? And so being able to see all of these things together about what's actually going on versus what's going on in theory, and then sort of, putting that together, that's so interesting as someone, who's an economics graduate, trying to figure out, does theory actually have a part in the world? So that's one part. I think how I'm actually taking this and what I would like to do moving forward is actually learning from persons like Ikoja, other Drucker laureates who are actually, some of them are social workers. They're doing all of these great things. They're telling me, oh, this is how we educate children. This is how we reach out to organizations for donations. That is something which I would like to continue doing, which is organization building, building partnerships, really helping out people with less access to resources, and widening, as Ikoja mentions, democratizing education, because I realize, thanks to this challenge, more so the importance of education, not just in Southeast Asia, but across the world. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And just judging from the two of you that I've had the chance to meet, it's the laureates must be quite a cool crowd to hang out with and quite a lot of inspiration going on there. So I'm so happy to hear that, actually also coming here has benefited you on a personal level and built new connections around the world. So I really want to thank you, Ikoja and Shaharaj, for taking the time and sharing your thoughts. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. I'm also super inspired now to continue reading around the topic of education. And I believe up next we have Justin in the studio sharing what's next in Drucker TV today online. We have a really great program. And yes, thanks once again for joining me. And I hope you have a really nice remaining day.
Yes.
Thank you so lot.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.